Shane Gillis was on Saturday Night Live.
I mean, I hate to be like the bro of the pod, but like I'm so into this.
He got fired. He used to be on SNL. He was basically put in a dungeon. Somehow clawed his way back.
I think it's Rogan. Rogan's had Gillis on literally once a month.
Right.
For the last 3 years, while he was technically canceled.
Right.
And Rogan has 20 million, listeners per episode.
Do you think he willed him back into fame?
His special is amazing. He's just a very funny dude.
He's very funny.
The other thing is he seems like the community really, really likes him. People wanted to be around Shane. They wanted to have him on their podcast. Plus, he's really funny. That was the perfect storm. And even though Rogan definitely helped a lot, Shane was like crawling his way back before he got to that. So he was on all the smaller podcasts. He started his own podcast that was really little, that kind of built up. Like he just said like, whatever, I'm just going to keep doing comedy because that's what I genuinely love to do.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right. Worldwide group chat. I mean, I haven't went further than the Valley, but but you two.
We covered the globe.
Yeah, you guys covered the globe. I covered the Valley. You guys covered the globe.
From the Valley to Dubai.
Right.
Everything you need to know.
And Milan.
Milan.
Yeah. So let's get a recap. I mean, Anand, you went to Dubai.
I was in Dubai last week.
Dee, Milan.
Yep.
So, and I haven't, I haven't heard anything. I'm curious. I'm just wondering how things went. If there's any updates, any global issues we need to know about, fashion things.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff.
Tell me all about it.
What's going on in Dubai?
We'll start with Dubai because, I'm not the fashion guy. That's you guys.
Well, Dubai, I mean,
Dubai's
rich.
where people spend.
Still wealthy.
I don't think they know fashion.
They have bad taste, but they're there.
They're spending.
Right.
So I was in Dubai. I have a lot of thoughts. To recap, I was there 3 nights.
You're only there 3 nights.
It's tough, with
kids.
Yeah.
And that was Dubai and then back home? Dubai for 3 nights and back home?
Yeah. Wow. So you leave on a Sunday, you get there Monday night. I was home Thursday by lunchtime.
Okay. And what did you go for? Or can you say?
So, yeah, of course. Yeah. So I missed Ken, who listens to the pod, one of my best friends.
Ken.
I missed his 40th birthday over Thanksgiving. I tried to explain to him, Americans, you can't miss Thanksgiving.
Right.
He didn't really comprehend that concept.
Yep.
So I was like, I'll make it up to you.
He's a Dubaian. They don't know what Thanksgiving is.
Yeah.
And so me and Vinod, one of my best friends, we all, the two of us went just to go spend time with Omar Rishi, who you also know.
Yeah, I love those guys. Yeah.
So it's a duo.
It puts me right back at the kitchen at your wedding, the little restaurant.
Yeah, so I just went to go spend time with him.
Okay.
Like there was no like business initiative, nothing. It was just like, hey, I want to just hang out. He just moved there kind of 6 months ago.
That's great.
So a lot of observations in Dubai. Firstly, so I've been going since 2009.
Okay.
And I think I've been 10 times.
You love it, right?
I love Dubai.
Wasn't it you went there and loved it, but Dee was unsure about it for a long time? Like in 2000.
I went maybe 7 years ago. I didn't not like it. It's just I'm not a shopper.
Yeah.
And I don't care about gourmet food.
Right.
So it's not a great place for me, but it's fucking nice.
Right. Got it. Okay.
So I hadn't been since pre-COVID, so 2018.
Gotcha.
So it's been a while. But even 2018, I still enjoyed it. It had all like the nice things. It is transformational from what 2018 to 2024.
How so?
It does not feel like an Arab country whatsoever.
Yeah.
It did feel like that back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You go to breakfast, like I wake up and I go to the breakfast at the hotel. You don't even see an Arab person.
It's just fat Americans.
No, it's Russians,
Fat
Ukrainians.
Russians.
No, I told you they're fit.
Russians are fit.
The Russians.
Well, yeah, when you're running
Europeans?
away from your country, you get in shape fast.
Did you say Russians and Ukrainians?
No, so I'll
Five
get
people
to
on
it.
both sides.
Having an omelet and fucking.
I'll get
What?
to it. But my point was, I flew in. I got in at like whatever 8:30 p.m. We go straight to a restaurant at the Four Seasons Koya. You don't see an Arab in sight. Everyone has white skin.
Yeah.
Every single person has white skin.
That's how Dee wants it.
My truth came true.
Yeah, there you go.
and everyone has an Eastern European language. They're not speaking English.
Yeah.
Right.
It could be Russian. It could be Kazakhstani. It could be Ukrainian. I have no idea
Yeah.
because obviously I'm not familiar with these languages. But like, no one's speaking English.
Yeah.
And I got the stats. So 3 million people were in Dubai pre-war.
Yeah.
500,000 Ukrainians and Russians have immigrated since.
Wow. Is it that easy to immigrate?
Oh, they don't care. They want money.
But what are they checking? Because obviously it's not like our immigration.
Our
No, you
immigration
get a
checks
visa.
zero.
Yeah.
No, you get a visa.
But are they?
They're like, hey, spend money. You're going to come here.
Right. So like if you hit the
$1,000
proper
or
checks, do they expedite?
Say that again, sorry?
Like I guess what I'm saying is like if you look like the type of person they want in the country, do they sort of expedite the process?
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
I mean, I don't
They're
know.
just trying to immigrate as many people with
as
money
many
as possible.
people that spend money, zero income tax.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Zero income tax is hot.
Zero income tax. How's that crime looking?
One of the most fascinating. So,
No crime.
They don't
They're
even know
going to
the word.
shoot you in the face if you commit a crime.
Right.
so everywhere we went, I honestly was like, am I in the Middle East or am I in like Paris?
Yeah.
Because Paris is probably more Arab than,
Yeah, when you
Dubai.
walk down the street, you see a lot of Arabs in Paris.
and it was just so fascinating that this is like one of the most craziest social experiments we've ever seen.
Yeah.
That they basically said, everyone come. We don't care where your money's from.
Yeah.
We don't care who you are. As long as you buy, there's 4 rules. I was told there's 4 rules.
Yeah.
Don't do drugs.
Okay.
Don't do crime.
Yep.
Don't speak out.
Yep.
Against the
No
kingdom.
rights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And don't drink and drive. You abide by
Not
those
bad.
4 rules.
I mean, by the way, that's impossible for anyone in America to do.
Right, but I'm guessing there's plenty of true.
Don't do drugs. Don't drink and drive.
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
speak
yeah.
it.
That's why
out
no one
against the
speaks English.
leadership.
That's why there's no English speakers at breakfast.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, because we don't know what they're saying.
Yeah. They're like, all we do is speak out and do crime. What are you talking about?
I mean, the irony, it's all those Russians. Why would they?
But they're used to shutting up.
No, but what's crazy is Dubai's. So most Muslim countries during Ramadan, which is about to
March
start,
10th,
next week. In Dubai, typically in Muslim countries, everything shuts down.
Right.
Can't drink, can't do anything.
There's no money in that.
Wide open.
Yeah,
Dubai.
you got to keep the business.
Yeah.
Come on.
I heard that this week too.
They said wide open. Dubai's wide open, and there's a few things like I really. So me and my friend Vinod were trying to figure out let's try to pierce the veil of like what could potentially happen, because everyone is in bliss in Dubai.
Yeah.
It's also spring. Wait till summer comes.
Yeah, sure. But my point is, everyone thinks it's just
The greatest place ever.
greatest place ever.
You kind of
And-
sound like Tucker after Russia.
What's that?
You sound like Tucker when he got back from Russia. Look at these train stations.
And so there's a few things, and the one thing we were like, oh, civil unrest, but there's only 350,000 Emiratis of the 3.5 million. So basically, like the actual locals, and everything's free for them.
So they're never.
Are you talking about what could ruin this?
Yes.
Got it.
And so the 350,000 people that are actually the locals,
Yep.
free house, free electricity,
free education?
free healthcare, free everything.
Yep.
So they subsidize it. You can't do that
unrest.
in Saudi. That's 35 million people.
Right.
350,000, easy to like.
Yeah. I think Saudis do get some subsidies too. Education, I think they get.
No, my point is like when they want to be the next Dubai, that's a lot tougher to pull off.
Yeah, it's way
when you
bigger.
only need to, 350,000 people, that's not a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So they took care of that issue.
They took care of that issue.
Yeah.
I thought it was more. Okay.
And then we were just like, everyone's so happy here. Everything seems so perfect.
Yeah.
What else could happen? And then we go to the Royal Atlantis, which is like the hot hotel.
Yeah.
It's a $2 billion hotel where Ling Ling's in.
Yeah.
You know,
I had someone I was with this week was there the week before.
it's a beautiful hotel.
Yeah, it's insane.
And then we're pulling up and our driver's like, Iran's 30 minutes away
Yeah.
on boat.
Damn.
And I was like, okay, that's
That's scary.
a potential.
Right.
And then Yemen's right around the corner.
Houthis.
It's so crazy. They're just like in the,
They're in the mix.
it's like freaking SoFi Stadium or something, It's real nice in there, but
So then the other thing that I like came to like I was just thinking about was in America we have just complete division, right? You have the left questioning the right questioning the left, and it's just like constant stress testing the country.
Yeah.
And in a place like Dubai, no one's stress testing
Because
anything.
no free speech. That is the key.
No, but my point is that why America is resilient, or is that why they're going to last?
No, I mean, you're talking 3.5 million people. There's 3.5 million people today at Pan Pacific Park. I went to Pan Pacific Park. I couldn't find parking anywhere near the park. There was 3.5
I
million
couldn't find
people.
parking on Los Angeles Olympic Park.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's irrelevant amount of people. You're talking about a world with 8 billion people.
Yeah.
3.5 million? Sure, 5 million people could live in bliss. That's nothing. Think about all the other countries that have. India has 1 billion trillion people.
Yeah.
China, whatever, all these places. Philippines, any country that has so many people, it doesn't work.
It's just crazy though, because like we could be doing so much better
Those 4 things I said, right?
if we had them.
Yeah, don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Don't drink and drive.
Don't talk.
Don't talk.
Shut the fuck up and enjoy yourself.
Who is following those rules?
The problem is,
Do you
it's
know
like,
anyone who's following those rules?
no.
I don't know anybody. 0 people I know would follow those
But think
rules.
about the fact of how rich we are and how much money we spend on bullshit. And it's like the opposite of what Anand's saying. Like, I know, I do agree with you. It's such a small little experiment that it's hard to really compare.
Yeah.
But like, for Anand to go there before COVID and then go there now and it feel way better. And then if you came to any US city before COVID and then came back now, you'd be like, what the fuck?
So here's the thing. Anand just said all that. There's negative 500% he would ever live there. And that's fundamental to
Right, but I think we get that's
everyone who moved there, they moved from fucking
Yeah, they moved from third world countries.
third world countries.
Yeah, of course.
No one is moving from like Beverly Hills and be like, yo, I'm out going to Dubai.
But I'm not
Actually,
even
no,
comparing.
a couple people
I'm not
randomly.
comparing.
a few people, sure.
But yeah,
it's not.
no, for the most part, I agree.
They went from a war-torn country.
Yeah, or just like if you live in a third world country
Yeah.
in Southeast Asia and you go to Dubai and you have money, there's no reason not to be there.
Right, so this is all I'm saying is that if you take one thing from their model and you take that they are investing everything they can into making it the best place to come and make and spend money, and it's working.
Yeah.
On a small scale, on all that stuff, we're essentially doing the opposite. And even if you talk about like California doing the polar opposite, which is once again, but who would really want to live anywhere else? It's like we've been so lucky for so long, and now we're like trying everything to ruin it.
Yeah. So here's the big difference is that we actually are spending the money. We have more money than everybody combined.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. The problem is because of those first 4 rules that Dubai has, we have now allowed that your opinion counts, this person's opinion counts, that person's opinions account. Right. So when it comes to the surplus of California 2 years ago,
Yeah.
where that money got allocated was even divisive.
Right.
Because too many people had opinion to it.
Right.
The reality is, like, in a true democracy, the risk is that, like, the people in power actually don't know how to allocate the funds that's best for the people.
Right. But let me give you an example. That was all over the news. We're going to talk about it later. Nancy Pelosi is currently
She's a
making a
boss.
killing on Nvidia.
Good for
And
her.
plenty of other things. That is out in the open, free speech. Everyone's talking about it. They don't care. That law is not getting changed. They
No.
don't. They listen to us when it's convenient. They don't really listen.
No, but yeah,
It's
but
just,
that's
to me, it's just making the incentive. Let's make this place the best place to come live, make, and spend money. And like, you don't have to like not let anyone speak out or do any crime, but how about like a little bit of punishment? Like we're doing the opposite, which is like, let's decriminalize prostitution.
Can
Let's
I tell you-
decriminalize.
I'll tell you the real reason, and this is going to sound horrible,
Yeah.
but this is the real reason.
Yeah.
Most societies globally are homogenous.
Okay.
Okay. You go to Korea, you go to Japan, you go to Korea, there's not even fucking Japanese people. You go to Japan, there's not Chinese people.
Yep.
You go to China, there's not Korean or Japanese people. And these are like Asian cultures and they do not intermingle.
Right.
You start going all over the world, anywhere where there's diversity and diversity of thought, diversity of religion, it is a much more challenging environment. And Europe is going through that in the worst way right now.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in America, we welcome the diversity of thought and opinion.
Right.
The problem is that comes with consequences.
Right. It just sucks that we're not as stronger. Like Anand was just saying, Dubai, incredibly diverse.
It's not incredibly diverse.
Okay, so let's just say diverse.
It's just
Let's
more
just say-
diverse than it was
But let me just
when
say,
you
let
went
me-
6 years ago.
Yeah, no,
Right.
but it's diverse amongst.
But let me make my point. Let me make my
Amongst
point.
people who commit fraud.
But let
Can
me
we
make my
actually be
point.
really clear about Dubai?
Yeah.
That's where people who've stolen money from other countries go to live.
For sure. Or Instagram models who want to get peed on.
I mean, is that much different?
No, peed on is light.
Right.
We know what the real.
Right, I said it for the pod. Okay, so let me just try to make my point and see what you think. Dubai is diverse slightly, but it's still like
It's financially diverse. Some people stole money from Russia. Some people stole money
Right,
from
right,
Ukraine. Some people stole money from America. That's what's going on.
Because the mentality,
The other thing, because Russians have actually been banned from Western Europe. So, like, I know stories of a kid in like a ritzy private school in London.
Yeah.
They get told you're out,
right.
and they all move to Dubai.
Right. But here's my point. The mindset is still come here, spend your money, make your money, but our rules are our rules.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with our rules. We're not open to your way of doing things. And I'm just saying it's
So let me
just
ask
a
you a
shame.
question.
Yeah.
What if California goes, all right, guys, no more tax, no more state income tax,
Yep.
free healthcare, free education. But if you say one thing bad against Gavin Newsom, you get shot in the face.
So Joe Rogan would be in trouble.
You'd kill him.
There'd be a bounty on his head.
But you got free healthcare, free education. Would you shut the fuck up?
I don't even talk about it except on this podcast.
Okay, so
I talk about it for 1 hour a week.
Can I tell you? I would shut the fuck up
Yeah.
instantly.
I don't even post on social media. It's not going to change me.
I would delete my social media and I would tell Kathy, see you the fuck later. If I got free healthcare, free
No
education.
crime.
What?
You didn't have to worry about
No crime,
you could
no
literally sleep
homelessness.
with your door unlocked.
So I was gone for a week. And I purposely never post when I travel for a lot of reasons, but one of them
Same.
is safety.
right.
Same.
And so
I didn't post.
Right.
And my wife's calling me. It's like 3:30 in the morning in Italy. And she's like, there's two people in front of the lawn. I don't know what to do. And I was like, call the police. She ends up calling one of our friends. Her husband comes and clears them out. They're meth heads on our lawn, literally in front of our house.
Yeah.
They pass your like little
Not the gate, they're in front, but like the kids are playing. It's like 5 p.m.,
Oh
whatever.
jeez.
And so
Yeah.
I was like, well, everyone get in the house, call the police. And our friend's husband was like, I'm coming. Fuck it. I'll just show up.
Yeah.
Showed up, cleared it up. It started yelling, a shouting match with them, got rid of them.
Yeah.
I think people can't help themselves when it comes to free speech.
Yeah.
That even if we offered all these things,
Yeah.
like I would love to be a mayor of a small town and be like, look, here's the deal.
We
Free
need an
education.
experiment, right?
What?
We need an experiment. Do this
We
in
need
like
to
a
see
small.
people be willing to. But if you say one thing, you go to fucking jail.
Yeah.
That's it.
But if they do their
You can't
part of the
say
deal,
anything.
I don't think, I'd take it.
You
If
would
they
take
do
it.
their part of the deal,
Yeah.
which is it is safe, no tax, healthcare, all these things you're
Free
saying.
healthcare, no tax, free
Safe
education.
and clean.
Yeah.
The cleanliness and the safety of Dubai. Don't say a word. And I would actually say, this guy just talked shit about Newsom. Get him.
Yeah.
I'd call.
Yeah.
You know, I
Here's
actually-
the bat.
you know what's-
Snitch.
you know what's
Yeah.
funny?
By the way, the other thing is homophobic is an issue in that part of the world.
No, it's not. I saw openly men holding hands
I think
in
they
public
know. They know they got to let go of that one.
and women holding hands in public, like as couples.
No way.
Swear on my life.
Where?
In Dubai.
Where?
Yeah,
Any
like,
of these hotels,
like in the lobby?
the 5-star hotels, whatever.
In the lobby.
Yeah.
They got to figure it out, bro.
Yeah, you just can't talk bad
No,
about
that
them.
wasn't
fine.
possible 5 years ago.
No, absolutely not.
I saw it firsthand.
I think they're
and even
smart.
Anthony told me this last year when he went for Formula One Abu Dhabi or wherever Kendrick performed.
Yeah.
He was like, I cannot believe they just let like open.
They're smart. They don't just don't criticize them.
Yeah.
Spend your money.
And well, there's rules. There's a handful of, commandments.
Right. Cool. But I thought being gay used to be one. So obviously they're
The irony is
loosened up.
there might be
it's
12
actually,
commandments.
but what they're saying is like not far from the commandments. It's just like,
Right.
thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not-
right.
in the Dubai
we figured this out a
Mall.
long time ago.
So forget the 5-star hotels. I'm just like remembering the trip. The Dubai Mall, which is the largest mall in the world.
Yeah.
I saw openly 2 men holding hands.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. They've come a long way then.
I would
I'm telling you, it's transformational
Yeah.
from
Okay.
2018.
I would just argue that like I don't know. I think in all seriousness, like just showing that like some law and order and some like making it a great place for people that are working hard and contributing to society. We're literally trying to make it better and better for people who are not contributing to society.
Yes.
We're trying to raise the number of how much you can steal before it's a crime.
Yeah.
We're doing the complete opposite.
Because we've allowed too much of this idea of freedom of speech
Yeah.
taken out of context.
Yeah.
That like everyone is opinion matters and everyone like it just doesn't. You have to like, in my opinion, I love the free speech of America, but some of it has to come with like, you got to earn it a little.
Right.
You can't just talk about everything and anything.
That's my point in
Well,
the
also the
terms of
problem
the
is-
stress test.
Yeah.
Because we stress test every day in America.
Yeah. But I just will say what I blame is the leader. Like we run businesses. Not everyone's opinion is equally
Yeah.
weighted. That would be silly to do.
Yeah.
An intern with a great idea that just started about how to run the business might be a little different than one of your high performers. Like it just feels like
What are you talking about? Most companies are dictatorships.
right.
Literally.
All the successful ones are.
Yeah.
But we don't, it's not that you're allowed to say it. It's that they listen
Yeah.
to the weirdest things.
Yeah.
Why are we listening to these issues?
Yeah.
They're not working.
So what's interesting is I was in Milan for this past week and
Can I just tie a bow on
Yeah.
Dubai and then
Yeah.
get to Milan? So we went to a handful of the luxury shops and then Dubai Mall. One of our friends wanted to buy a wallet. And I, me, the journalist, Started talking to the sales clerk.
Conversationalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, conversationalist.
Yeah.
I was like, who's spending? And they were like, the Russians. And I was like,
Whereas the Ukrainians aren't.
I mean, he bunched them all in.
Okay.
He doesn't make a
Russians,
difference.
Ukrainians,
He's acting like the
Kazakhstan.
war is already
It was a
over.
Brazilian guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's that whole,
That
region.
world.
Yeah.
That region.
Money's flowing.
And he's like, yeah, they're the ones that are spending. And I said, what about pre-COVID? And he said the same. He goes, the Indians spend, but they're not big ticket items.
Yeah, they're cheap.
Yeah.
Indians are cheap. No matter, even if they steal money, the Indians are cheap. The stolen money Indians are even cheap. They can't even help it.
I just wish someone would do a report, a real journalist on the, Ukrainian wealth boost in places like Dubai.
I mean, I saw
That's
it.
100%. What
But
do
I'm
you
saying,
mean?
I
like, no
saw
one,
the restaurants.
your average American does not understand that.
The average American does not know that most of our federal budget is lining the pockets
Yeah.
of luxury retailers.
In Dubai and Miami. And I mean, we
If
live
you
in
saw
LA.
the federal budget, and then you saw all the hotels, the liquor, the stores that went because of all these people. I heard some stories. I will not mention the brand because I'm not going to put it out like that. I heard a luxury brand's
Yeah.
top customer. I'm not going to say the country.
Yep.
Guess how much the top customer of a luxury brand spent?
Well, you
In a
told me,
year
so
or one
I'll
session?
let
or-
drama go.
in one.
In 1 year, last year, one person. Actually, I'll share it in the Chatty Cathy Club because this is fucking mind blowing. One person. Guess how much they spent?
$2 million.
Huh?
$2 million.
What's that?
I mean, 2 million, that's what
That's what your Ukrainians are spending.
at Dubai Mall, that's 2 million.
Luxury brand, $65 million last year.
One person.
One person. And let me tell you,
Where was the
that
person
person
from?
is not on the Forbes list.
Where was the person from?
I'm not saying. I'll say it only in the Chatty Cathy
Were
Club.
any portion of that 65 million US tax dollars?
No.
No. I mean, it could be.
That's what I'm saying. When I'm
it could
talking
They're
be
about,
not
like-
American. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like all the things that we're funding. Is any of that siphoned off?
No, that what he's talking about, I know what he's saying because he told me before. It has nothing to do with
Okay.
sleepy.
Yeah, I just wish that
It's not
they
sleepy
would.
related. Yeah.
I mean, we live in LA, obviously, so it's a little bit more this way. But like, I still every day. I mean, the guy at the front desk of my building wears a Ukraine flag mask. You see Ukraine flags everywhere. I just want like a old school, like what Vice used to do,
Yeah.
a piece on like how many.
But that's not the narrative that mainstream America wants to hear. That like we gave $100 billion
But I
to
think
war and it went to
Americans-
fucking luxury.
Americans
Yeah.
are doing great because on my flight, LA to Dubai, I flew Emirates,
Yeah,
business class.
nice.
Not first, huh?
No, not first.
Cheap.
Very humble of you.
He's one of those cheap Indians.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of fat Americans wearing Broncos tees,
Going to
Steelers
Dubai?
tees, Utah Utes. It was just like football merch.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
balling, man. We're not getting rate
They're about
cuts
to fucking
anytime soon.
crush every restaurant in Dubai.
Where are they
moving.
going? Are they staying in Dubai or are they leaving?
No, they're staying. They're going to stay there for a week and then go to Maldives and tan their fat asses.
It was so funny. I was walking in. I was like, I see a Denver Broncos tee and a Pittsburgh Steelers tee.
Can I ask one question? Because I've never been. Why wouldn't you live there? Like, I know you said you would never live there in a million years. Why? It's just too crazy. Like,
Honestly, I think the single biggest challenge is weather.
Yep.
It's basically unlivable 6 months of the year.
Yep.
That
4
is a
months,
huge
4
problem.
months.
What else?
Yeah.
Second is as much as they're making, according to a lot of progress culturally, they're still in the fucking dark ages.
Right.
Right? Like I'm liberal. I'm not woke liberal. And it's not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it will get there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I actually do believe.
But, so that's actually one of the things we were trying to stress test this like bliss. Because when you're there and we were with a lot of people that live there
Yeah.
permanently or semi-permanently. And I was just trying to figure out where is the crack? Could it be
It's here in
another?
America.
What's that?
It's here in America.
No,
The crack.
the crack. We already know the crack's here.
Yeah, we have the
You
crack.
said,
Don't
where's
worry.
the crack? And we got it.
But I was just like, could another ruler come in
Yeah.
and just say like, no, everyone pay your taxes.
No, money
We're
train's
taking
too hot.
money. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's the assumption.
Yeah.
But
It could happen. But I
Some
just think it's
conservative
too hard to
person could
stop
come in
that.
and say,
look,
fuck all
MBS
this.
went and jailed all his cousins.
Yeah, but
I think it's more the opposite. Like that more, like I know Riyadh and like these different places are trying to more, like they see what Dubai's doing and they're like, wait a minute, this is a path to something. I think it's more likely that the opposite happens.
Here's my couple thoughts. I think if you do not live in America and you live in any other country,
Mhm.
I think immigrating to the Middle East makes a whole lot of sense. It is definitely where like the momentum of the world is. So I agree that I think there's a humongous opportunity.
Yeah.
Right now, if you're going to go to these countries, if you have a family, this, that, you probably have to have money.
Right.
If you're a young person single, there's probably unlimited jobs. Like I was with someone that got offered a investment banking job in Dubai, insane money, plus no income tax.
Yeah,
and
no
she
tax.
considered it. She was like, fuck it, 3, 4, 5 years, make $1 million and, come back to America. So I think there is this like opportunity to potentially move.
Yeah, no,
the
if you're
Middle East and
young,
create-
it makes
Yeah.
sense. So like there was a 22-year-old kid at the Nobu at Royal Atlantis, which is like the hot hotel.
Mhm.
And I just started talking to him. I was like, what's your deal?
Mhm.
He's like, I'm from Bombay. And I was like, why are you here? He's like, I can make more money here than I could make in India.
Yeah.
I was like, how much money are you making?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it. I was like, what do I care?
You never see this guy again.
He's
He probably
like,
thinks you're an Indian felon on the rise. I'm
Yeah.
going to fucking answer this guy.
and he's like, I make 18,000 US dollars a year. His entire food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is paid.
18,000?
No, hold on. He's
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is good.
he's a
We're-
no,
okay.
wait.
He's a busboy?
He's literally like the guy that is
Right.
Yeah,
So no
Bring-
tax and then
Bites
food.
up.
yeah. And so his breakfast, lunch, and dinner are paid for by the hotel and his lodging.
Yeah.
So if you think about his package, it's probably like a $50,000-$60,000
And he's eating at
package.
Nobu or he's working at Nobu?
He's working at Nobu.
Oh, okay.
He's a
I
server.
thought you said he was eating at Nobu.
No. He's
I was
a
like, how
server.
does this guy
he
eat
doesn't
at
even know
Nobu?
it, no.
No, he's
never
a
eating
server.
there.
So I was just like, what's
That's
your...
not bad.
I was like, you're making basically like a equivalent of a $50,000-$60,000 package.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're 22 years old.
it's great. He
Plus,
can,
not like I'm comparing it to like living in the US.
And his 18,000 is tax free. So it's
Right.
all savings.
Right.
yeah,
Because everything's paid for.
Yeah.
His food's paid for, his lodging's paid for.
yeah.
How many people in LA right now have 18,000 just savings?
Zero.
I feel like if you're one of these like crypto or like want to be investor, like young people, that's a perfect deal. Just invest all the money,
Yeah.
work.
I think if you're young, it's an incredible opportunity to like go there.
Could
for
you meet a wife there?
What?
If you're like 22, you're this busboy. Could he find a girlfriend or a potential wife there? Like, is there enough other?
That Indian's not finding a wife there. Zero chance.
Yeah.
He has to go back to India.
But
Yeah.
isn't there like a bus?
No one's
a bus,
fucking him.
A bus lady?
Sorry.
No, he's a good. He's fucking for sure.
For 18,000 in that
he's-
market?
No, it's a whole community of
What about
service
like a
people.
little
No,
bartender?
service
A nice
people.
bartender.
No, I'm
on a
sorry.
dorm.
If there was a
Go on a
good-looking
dorm.
other server, she's getting scooped up.
Okay, then maybe he has like back in Bombay, he has a babe.
He's got his babe
A
in Bombay. Bombay.
No, but can you think about
Sends
how
her a
many
little money.
22-year-olds are saving $18,000 a year?
Zero.
Yeah, none. Zero.
22.
Zero.
32.
Zero. They're adding $22,000 a year to their debt.
Yeah.
Okay, not bad. How's Milan?
So the interesting about Milan, I've been there twice in the last month.
Yeah, that's absurd.
I spent an ungodly amount of time in this city.
Did the boys go with you this time?
No, Josh went with me.
Oh.
And so we basically, between like last time we were in the outskirts in a village and Milan, this time we were very different experience. In Milan during Fashion Week, with kind of like the it crowd.
Right.
The number one question immediately, every single person that asked me is, wow, I hear it's very unsafe there now. About LA.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, every single person was like,
Yeah.
whoa, you live in LA?
Yeah.
Like, I heard it's crazy. I heard they basically said two things. They said San Francisco obviously is just a drug den,
crack den,
murderous capital.
Yep.
And LA's basically a disaster, but
The home
it's still
invasion
LA.
capital of the world. Yeah.
You know, that people still want to go there.
Yep.
Very shocked at how negative the
Sentiment.
perception.
Yep.
That's all TikTok.
Yeah.
Well, but it's also true. Like you would think
Yeah.
that probably every person that goes over there from LA talks about it. At this point, everyone who has money or lives in a house in LA has either been robbed or knows someone very close to them who has.
Yeah.
So I think it's both.
Yeah. It's really, really interesting. So
I think LA is worse than, like when you say it's all TikTok, I think LA is worse than we even realize because we've been here through it all.
I'm just saying that they're aware of it because of TikTok. I'm not saying TikTok has made it worse.
Right.
LA is worse because of its own leadership. I agree with that.
Yeah, I just think the word of mouth. I mean, I literally on TikTok right before I came here just saw there's that huge girl, Karina Kampf.
Yeah. She got robbed?
She got robbed. She was talking about it on TikTok.
Yeah.
I will say, I get back from Dubai 2 days later, 2 a.m. You guys know where I live.
Yeah.
Just helicopters, sirens.
Yeah.
Wake up to.
Well, then you follow the 4 commandments of Dubai.
Yeah. Someone talks shit. Zip them out of there. Okay. So everyone knows.
So that was the
Secret's
first
out.
kind of thing, which I felt more on this trip than I did last trip because I was also in London, Paris. But this trip particularly, people were like, whoa, this is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I also hung out with a lot of people from the Middle East, and it's unbelievable. I'm with Anand on the transformational piece. They are a lot more progressive. They really do believe that region is the future. And they're willing to spend the fucking money to figure it out.
Yeah.
Which I think is an interesting thing because China had all the money, China had all the momentum, and they refused to let people immigrate.
That was a big mistake.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
China was literally had all the momentum. They could have just basically
They should have
welcomed
opened the
everyone.
country up for immigration. Americans fucking would have moved.
100%.
Millions of Americans would have
And
moved.
Europeans would have moved.
Yes.
Everyone would have moved.
And I think when I talk about like talking with a lot of people in the Middle East that I was with, like every single person, you need to come visit me. You got to come see it. We're changing our communities.
And this is in what country?
This was in Riyadh. Like
So,
come to Riyadh.
I honestly think like, so Sheikh Mo is the Sheikh of Dubai.
Dubai, yeah.
And obviously Abu Dhabi is the main ruler. But Sheikh Mo had this vision 20 years ago that I'm going to basically westernize this region.
Yeah.
And everyone's followed since. And like everything he's done, like, look, obviously serious human rights problems, serious, like a lot of issues. Not going to like gloss over that.
Yeah.
But
you know,
by and large,
it what people fail to realize, because I'm with you, it's serious human rights issues. America 150 years ago had slavery.
250. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, you know, like it took time
Yeah.
for this country
That's
to figure
fair.
itself
That's
out.
a fair point. That's a fair
So
point.
as much as, and this was my argument to China, because I used to go there and be like, this place is a fucking disaster. But I was like, the young people there were like, you know, America had slavery, America had this, America had that. And I'm like, you guys figured it out. And I was like, you're right.
Omar Rishi actually told me this in 2009 when the first time I ever went to Dubai. He was like, Sheikh Mo has the vision. He's like, he knows this is how you bring Western population here. And that was fresh off a financial crisis. And it was like complete ghost land.
Yeah. There was
And-
a dumpster fire.
And they
there.
had to get bailed out by Abu Dhabi. And to be honest, like he, for the most part, has done pretty well
Yeah.
in terms of transforming what was a Middle Eastern country perceived by the Western civilization to what it is today.
Yeah.
I wonder what our vision is. You know, like China has a strong vision. Saudi, you know, Abu Dhabi, they have a strong vision. Like,
well, those are autocracies, right? So we don't have a vision. We have public opinion.
Yeah, we have chaos.
What's the deep state up to? Like, don't they have a vision?
Yeah, deep state's looking out for the deep state.
Like when we, like for instance, when we invade Iraq for, which, you know, we all knew wasn't to catch terrorists. Yeah. Now, like, do you think that's part of a bigger vision? Like,
no, I think well, at that point there was no public opinion.
Right.
To be honest,
there wasn't allowed.
There was no social media.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think
there. But do you think there's like that's part of this puzzle piece of like we're going to control all the oil?
If you want to take about vision, America had the greatest vision of all time. We have a military base in every fucking corner of the world. As much as everyone wants to shit on America, at any given time, everyone is fucking terrified of us.
Yeah. And
so when people always talk about like the gold standard versus the US dollar, there was that meme that went out, I don't know, 3-4 months ago. They're like, people want to know what the US dollar is back for. And then they show the carrier ships, the nuclear missiles, the helicopters, the guns. That was our vision. It was a military vision, was like, we're going to control natural resources basically in every corner of the world. We're going to control the economy globally. Yeah. And the problem is we got sloppy over the last 30 years.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're still way ahead and in charge.
Yeah,
we're kind of like the big scary bully that's like super fat and out of shape.
I think to just like add on to Dee's point, the vision was basically we're the most militarily backed country in the history of the world, and no one's going to mess with us.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a reason why of the budget, $2 trillion is spent annually, 875 billion on defense.
Yeah.
Sure, a lot of it's waste, but there's a reason.
Yeah,
the reason is we get to get on this podcast and talk shit, and no one's fucking with us.
Yeah, because our government, you know, our government would kill for us 3 idiots.
Yes.
In a second.
Yeah. If we got kidnapped in China, if I got kidnapped in Dubai,
Sleepy, maybe not. They may not let you go.
Sleepy's
if we got kidnapped in like Korea, we're blowing Korea to smithereens.
Sleepy's going to come get us.
Yeah. Certain countries, he's going to leave you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It just, you're right. It's pretty cool. It's pretty fucking cool. We're still crushing it. It's just like, I wish you could like,
no, that's what I'm saying.
walk down the ocean.
It was there. You know, it was so funny. So when I landed, you know, you literally just take a picture and they're like, welcome home.
Yeah.
And here.
When you land.
Yeah.
And because they have all your details, your passport,
it's
whatever.
So nice to clear customs here.
And I was texting Ken. He's like, Jesus Christ, America's amazing.
Yeah.
And he lives in Dubai.
Yeah. I'm telling you, every time I travel abroad and I come home and my customs is like, lift my hat and I just get welcome home.
That's it. Lift your hat.
Lift your hat. Lift your hat.
And they say, welcome home.
Yeah. That feels like, goddamn right. Give me my fucking gun now.
Give you a gun, a Big Mac and a bald eagle.
And some fentanyl.
Give me some Zin.
Just a little
Here's
shot.
Here's some Zin. Here's a gun. God damn it. Welcome home.
It just, you're right. I mean, we're still by far the best. It's just, I wish we have everything and it would be so easy.
We do it so much better. 100% we do it so much better. We have the best.
We're a few tweaks away from being undeniably the greatest place ever of all time.
Do you know how nice it is to hear that welcome home?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You just hear fucking F-16. You're like, I made it, baby.
God bless America.
God damn it. Yeah. Okay, what else?
And then so I think the highlights of the trip were Kanye's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, every fucking meal I see this guy.
You know how people say there's like fake Joe Bidens? I feel like there's fake Kanye's. This motherfucker he was on the roof of my building like 2 weeks ago. And I've heard about him being 10 other places since.
So on our way to Milan, I see on Instagram he's doing at Milano Forum his
listening party.
Yeah. In Milan, there are a couple really nice hotels: Four Seasons, Armani, are like the two kind of, notable, popular, trendy luxury hotels.
Yeah.
They're like in the heart of town. And during Fashion Week, those places are like fun to like hang out. It's like a scene.
Yeah.
So the first night we're there, we go have drinks and dinner there with someone we work with in Milan. We sit down. We're in the back, kind of like a shitty table. Across from us is Kanye and his wife.
Was she naked?
What?
Was she naked?
Yes. Ass out, tits were covered. They are, just sitting having dinner.
A fucking hostage, dude. Everywhere you see photos of her, she's just naked and kind of deadpanning.
Yeah. Security there, very insane.
He actually had security.
Mega
because normally he doesn't.
No,
right?
no. This guy, dudes were strapped.
Okay.
Like real security. We just so happened to have the only table, and there was like a small group having drinks, but everyone else was his security.
I bet you the guys talk shit about Bernard Arnault for the last 5 years. He's probably like, I don't know.
So he sits down, and we're having our meeting, whatever. They're ordering food. He's on his phone the whole time. His girl's on his phone the whole time. Whatever. He's kind of walked out. I overheard him. He wanted some Advil. Must have had a headache. He comes back, and then it's time for him to go, move. And his wife had gone to the restroom, so he's now waiting. And he puts on his mask.
Like the ski mask. And he's waiting quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like 15 minutes standing there.
After the mask went on.
Because the wife isn't back from the bathroom.
She probably dropped her fucking trash bag that was covering her tits.
This poor guy's got his mask. He's like ready to go out. Because I think when you walked out of the hotel, I was there for a long time.
Was it Fashion Week?
What? It was Fashion Week.
Okay.
I think when you walked out of the hotel, there was going to be a lot of like fans. Because that particular hotel had a lot of fans outside. But, he's just sitting there like, whatever. So he finally goes out. He's got his security, this, that. And I'll tell you, I was with a lot of like pretty notable fashion people all week.
Mm-hmm.
And I could tell you like the sentiment is not like, they're not in love with them at all.
Yeah.
I think like your Joe fan internet person, I think still loves him. I mean, the music is like number one on Spotify. So I believe his like core fan still loves him.
Yeah.
But that fashion crowd used to fucking love him.
Yeah.
He was so responsible for so many trends. He's made all those people so much money.
Yeah.
Over the years, but like just hearing what people were saying, it was a bit dismissive.
Yeah.
So I was surprised to see that. And then I saw him again the next night.
Yeah.
And
did he talk to you or no?
No. He had meetings, people, like he was
making moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
you got a lot of money to make up. What do you think
his play is, right? So he's basically been ostracized by corporate America.
Yeah.
So
he's making money.
Where do you go? He's going to make money. Obviously, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think he's at this point. He's just going to prove that he could do whatever he wants. Whatever. The fact that he has his song at number one on Spotify is insane.
I think right now,
Carnival.
I think right now he's the most like energized by like sort of proving you can't cancel him.
Yeah.
Like if he can continue to make money. Not what he used to, but without those people, I think he's happy at the moment.
Yeah.
That seems like the vibe.
He's like a true independent.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said he's a little chubby.
Yeah. I mean, he was big. Someone asked me like, oh, what'd you think of him? I was like, I thought he was too big.
Yeah. It's not healthy.
Needs those Ozempic.
Right.
I think he's a great case for it, personally.
I mean, why wouldn't you? Elon did it. Why wouldn't you?
I think if he did it, because a lot of people say that he doesn't look healthy. I think it's because of the weight.
Right. But imagine like just the emotional burden of like pissing off the entire fucking world. Like, God, You know, I think the weight in his head is like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's exhausted and tired.
and he's everywhere
Yeah.
at every party, big or small.
Yeah. He's everywhere.
He's basically Elon, because Elon's everywhere too.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing that gets me is like, I mean, maybe this is just a one-off case, but like he was on the roof of my building, like I said on the pod. It was probably a month
And
ago.
I saw him New Year's Eve.
Right. The night after or something like that.
Yeah.
And the thing that he was on the roof of my building for was a birthday party for a kid that lives in my building.
Yeah.
Like, I know who the guy is, and he knows some people in the industry, but it's not.
It's not like, you know,
Yeah.
Ty
not
Dolla
Drake.
Sign's birthday.
Right. But he popped in. And it's just like, damn, like, I don't know if Elon, I mean, maybe he is. I don't know if Elon's doing that. At least what you see Elon at is like the biggest things happening.
I feel like Elon's showing up
He
to
probably
like
is.
some
I think
shitty
Elon's
birthday too.
popping up.
Yeah.
I think Elon's crowd also doesn't just do social.
I think there's like a genetic, like if you have this gene of like just limitless energy.
Yeah, you got everything.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he, you know, gets some Ozempic, gets what he needs.
Yeah.
I do want him to live a long, happy, healthy life.
Yeah, I think it's all like incredible.
Spectacle.
You know, we've gotten credit for people investing in Novartis or whatever the drug is,
Yeah.
the drug company that did Ozempic.
Mm-hmm.
I have a new call.
What is it?
The legalized steroid, because you lose muscle mass. So whatever that new drug is,
Right.
that gets you muscle mass.
Is it by a publicly traded
No,
company?
no, it's not. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm saying someone's going to create it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone has to like,
Because you have to because no one wants to work out, right?
Yeah.
So you lose the weight on Ozempic, then you're going to get the
I
legalized
mean, if you
steroids.
get buff
Yeah.
with a shot, sign me up.
oh, it's over.
I would take 2 shots a day.
Yeah.
That's the
Easy.
new drug. That's the
Yeah.
new hustle.
Yeah. I
We
agree.
need to invest in
If
that
you
one.
can
We
counterbalance
lost all that.
I agree.
And it'd be huge in India. There's not a muscle to see in all
Imagine
of
everyone
India.
looks like that guy. I always reference it. Who's the actor that got all buff for?
Oh, Kumail.
Yeah. Imagine all of India just looks like Kumail.
I would love to look like Kumail.
Me too. But I think, yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. The trip was insane. I hung out and I was at every restaurant, every after party, after party. And
Are there like TikTokers at any of this stuff?
I saw a lot of like notable American influencer, mainly women.
Right.
Like fashion influencer
No, like
types.
Josh Richards walking around, Addison Rae.
I saw them all at Super Bowl.
Right.
I did not see them here. What's interesting, we went to Casa Cipriani in Milan, which is like a members club in Milan. And it was interesting. So you walk into the dining room, it was 100% white. 100%.
Man, the whites
Like,
are everywhere.
No Asian,
Sounds like Dubai.
no black,
The
no
whites.
It was fucking crazy. I was like, all right, good for you, Cipriani. You guys are really keeping it Aryan all the way.
Not what Google would like to hear.
Yeah, and by the way, we had to add this to the topic. I guess the crazy news of the last couple of days is Google's Gemini, which is their AI chatbot,
Yeah.
No, it's a generative AI.
but it's their chatbot too.
Sure, but it's basically like text to image.
But isn't Gemini that's
their
their new
ChatGPT.
that's their new Bard.
No, Bard's Chat GPT, Gemini.
No, they rebranded
Bard became Gemini.
Bard's gone now.
Okay.
Gemini's now going to be the all-encompassing
AI.
anti-white
Yeah.
AI. This is not good for your prediction.
Why?
The,
Why?
the white.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta get the H in.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's the problem is Google's Gemini, and this is even by every single type of walk of humanity
Yeah.
who has played around with it. It's racist.
Yeah.
It literally put Nazi Germans as like black and Asian people.
Sundar's gotta go.
That's funny.
It
Yeah,
literally,
he does.
everything about this thing, this company is so fucking woke
Yeah.
that everything they do in this AI large language model, they've trained it
Right.
to basically exclude white people.
As a local woke guy on the pod, it's the most ridiculous thing I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
Even there was a comparison between Elon and Hitler, and it did
Right.
not say
If you say you want the Vikings, like, the Vikings from not the football team.
Yeah.
Like
OG.
the OG Vikings. It's just black people.
Yeah.
The other crazy thing is like, I know nothing about AI or any of these systems, but I would imagine pulling that out of the system is nearly impossible. Like you have to start over.
Yeah, I think.
Well, they pulled it.
Right. But I'm saying, do they have to fucking train this entire thing? I mean, how deep are these
models?
How deep is this integrated into it?
Yeah.
Because it's not just ask us for anyone and we won't show you them as white. The answers, like you said, are super
Who's the executive that
weird and woke. Like
who's the executive that greenlit it?
So here's what I actually honestly think. I think Google as a company culture
must be terrible.
has completely gone off the rails.
That's fine, but if you are the
you
person that
understand, you're talking-
greenlights,
it's 100,000
hey, what does Elon Musk look like? And you show a black guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it was rushed. I think the culture is horrendous. And then when all this AI stuff started happening, everyone rushed to get their thing out.
Yeah.
Maybe they would have like cleaned a little bit of that up, but they didn't have time and they just put it out. And now you have this.
I think, when you have a company that's like 100,000 people, 25 plus years old, it's very, very hard to change company culture. They've let the inmates run the asylum at Google. And the problem is, here's the credit. I'll give credit to Indian CEOs. Indian CEOs are amazing at steering the ship in the direction it was going and making it more efficient.
They're Kirk Cousins.
They're not good to turn the ship around.
They're not Tom Brady.
What?
Yeah, they're Kirk Cousins.
No, they are Tom Brady. So I disagree with that. I think
Who's Tom Brady?
They're like system quarterbacks.
Yeah,
but they win
Kirk
championships because Satya has won fucking titles.
Sure.
So Satya,
he's Trent Dilfer.
Okay, it's cool, but Trent Dilfer, they won 5 titles, right? The most valuable company on earth. So here's what I think.
He's not Zuck.
His company's worth more, so that's all that matters. It's about money.
No, but he didn't create it. He just came in. He's doing third down check downs,
and he's doing a good job. And so I think Indian CEOs are incredible at when you have the foundation that's strong, and you continue to basically maximize, optimize. They're incredible at it. In the case of Google, they need a huge turnaround. This company, as far as I'm concerned, is fucked.
I don't know if you can even.
It's fucked.
I think
they have to change it so dramatically.
Yeah, I think Sundar has to go.
He has to go, and Larry and Sergey have to get back in the saddle.
I don't think they care. They're too rich.
But it's like what Elon did. It's like the level of intensity that Elon did at Twitter, except for Google's massively, massively bigger.
I mean, they've completely botched AI, and they were the most ahead of AI of anyone.
Yeah.
They bought DeepMind in 2014.
You know why I think it's so fucked? It just makes me feel that their search is actually so ineffective.
Yeah.
Their search is actually trash.
They just had such a fucking monopoly.
If I say I want white tennis shoes, they're going to show me black Air Force Ones.
Yeah, they're going to say, take this, you racist.
I'll share like a quick tidbit, not going to say any names, but like a very close friend who has done extremely well, and he's trying to figure out what he wants to do next.
Mm-hmm.
He goes and meets with another tech executive, and he goes, just go work at OpenAI. And he's willing to go work at OpenAI at any salary.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I know that's where the world's moving.
Yeah.
And he goes, I just need to be in that world.
Yeah.
It's just, how do you?
But he's not doing that for Google.
Hell no. That would be like poison. And when you say, to be honest, Anand, when you say like who's in charge of that product, it kind of reminds me, even though it's very different, but of what happened with the presidents of these universities.
Yeah.
When like you see that the leadership is willing to sit in front of Congress and not admit that calling for genocide is, against their conduct. It's like, I think it's that delusional and absurd. And somebody said, hey, this is a good idea. Don't question me. I'm part of the DEI program. They're like, put it out.
They
I
should
think it's
fire
that crazy. I think things are way
50,000
crazier.
people. They should fire everyone.
Yeah.
They should fire the whole fucking
Did
company.
you listen to All In? Did you guys listen to All In?
I
No, I
did, but
missed
as
it.
usual, on Fridays I kind of have it. I'm in and out of the room. But what's the?
What happened?
Their takeaway was basically that I actually thought it was, they actually had a real good Nvidia take.
Well, what did they say about Google? We're talking about Google.
Google, they just said
Toast.
toast.
Yeah, it's toast. I agree.
They're just like, it's
This is tech. This is not like
I don't
real
get it.
estate. You're toast.
yeah.
It's just how embedded, how many people.
Yeah.
There's so many fucking people. And once again, I would imagine the way that this is trained into, like, how do you train all of this into a model that's so perfectly woke?
Yeah.
Because there was someone else, it said, like, can you compare Elon to Hitler? And it said, you know, complex and whatever. But then there was another one that said, can you compare this person to Hitler? And it was like, no, absolutely not.
And they had to remove the product.
Right. But doesn't that go through, isn't the way that these things work, like, it has to be trained, so like it spits out answers and
Yeah,
people.
it's trained by morons.
I mean, how many morons were sitting training this thing for hours and hours and hours?
And I just don't get how it gets approved. That's my
Because
issue.
it's Claudine Gay at the helm.
Yes.
It's someone like that. I'm telling you. I think this whole woke thing, I think there's way more power. Like the same way you see that power in the university presidents, and you're like, really? Like these are the people in charge? Yeah. I think that happens. That's a lot more than we think.
Yeah, I don't think we appreciate that we've basically let a lot of people dictate opinions in this country that represent a very small minority.
Yeah.
And I think that on both sides.
Yeah.
And I think when you actually think about the general population is very simple. We like football. We like alcohol.
Yeah.
So the general population is pretty simple in the sense that, like, as long as my family's fine, I can put food and I can go on two vacations.
And my team wins.
Most teams don't win.
I know, but I would say that they care about that more than their family.
You know, the Lions haven't won a Super Bowl
They
in
would
40
love
years.
if that were true.
Yeah.
But like, I think most people are simple.
But they've told us that that's not the case anymore. That instead, it's always victimhood everywhere in this country. Everyone's a fucking victim all the time.
To your point, though, I think that's such a small group of people, and the other people are now just pissed and annoyed.
Yeah.
Like I didn't care.
Okay, so
I just wanted my wife and my team and go on my 2 vacations.
So, you know, I think one of the big news of the weekend was Shane Gillis was on Saturday Night Live.
I mean, I hate to be like the bro of the pod, but like, I'm so into this.
So he got fired. He used to be on SNL.
Yeah.
And he was basically put in a dungeon.
Yeah.
And, you know, somehow clawed his way back because you know who I was thinking about, that Shane Gillis is doing SNL and probably bigger than ever? Aziz Ansari.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
He was on top. Do you guys remember 4 years ago?
He had that show.
He was the show. He was doing out, I think, Madison Square Garden. And now
he's the one too. Wasn't he the one that had like, it was kind of just sounded like an awkward date a little bit?
Yes. But like, I think it.
You're saying he has a shot to come back.
No. My point is that Shane Gillis probably went through a little bit more than Aziz did. And Aziz, because of the timing of what happened, Aziz was basically put to the pastures. And I think Aziz himself is not resilient enough.
Yes, that's it.
I think Aziz did not have the resiliency to be like, fuck all you guys. I'm going to fucking keep doing this. And Aziz is gone.
I will say...
Go, you go.
I'll say, I think it's Rogan. Rogan's had Gillis on literally once a month.
Right.
For the last 3 years while he was technically canceled.
Right.
And Rogan has 20 million, listeners per episode.
So you think he willed them back into fame?
Well, look,
100%.
we all have our takes. Here's my take, which is kind of...
But I think if Aziz wanted to go on Joe Rogan, he would let him on in a second.
I don't know.
No, but let me
Rogan's
tell you
very
this.
particular.
This is part of my take. Here's my take. I think it's a testament only to the difference. They're two different people.
Yes.
Everything that I've heard, number one, I think Shane Gillis is massively funnier than Aziz.
Yeah.
Just naturally funnier.
Yeah.
And I heard his special was amazing.
His special is amazing. He's just a very funny dude.
He's very funny.
The other thing is he seems like the community really, really likes him. I've heard Aziz is a dick.
Yeah.
So people wanted to be around Shane. They wanted to have him on their podcast. Plus, he's really funny. That was the perfect storm. And even though Rogan definitely helped a lot, Shane was like crawling his way back before he got to that. So he was on all the smaller podcasts. He started his own podcast that was really little, that kind of built up. Like he just said like, whatever, I'm just going to keep doing comedy because that's what I genuinely love to do. I think people like him more. Whereas Aziz probably took it really bad.
Yeah.
People didn't really reach out to like give him that extra help.
Yeah, and to be fair, we know firsthand he's not the friendliest guy.
Right. And I think that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's the difference of people rooting for you and being like, hey, we want to get you back, or you going and secluding and like, whatever. We don't really.
Episodes that Gillis has no relation to the episode, he'll talk about the mothership and say like in the green room, Shane Gillis and me.
But that's like, after. I just want to say you're coming in a little late. Like he got fine. When he got kicked off of SNL, he was kind of a nobody at that time, like to the main comedy world. And then he just
kept grinding.
Yeah. Like there's another podcast where Ari Shaffir and them are telling Joe, like, we always have to be really creative about how we introduce comedians to you because you'll say no to them really quick. We had to do that with Shane Gillis. Like we had to be really creative about how we put him on your radar. And finally you were like, oh, I love this guy. Yeah. But it took a while. And then that was like the tipping point.
And even Kevin Hart, I remember when the Netflix special released, Kevin Hart was like, this guy's a special talent. He tweeted it.
Because I think that is my other point about like
people liking him.
People like him. They saw that all comedians fucking hate what's happening in comedy with getting canceled. It happened to Kevin Hart. And I think it's a little bit of like, I like this guy. He is really talented, and fuck the whole cancellation thing. I'm going to do whatever I can to help him beat it. But like, to go back on that show, he did a really good job. But also like, I do got to say props to Lorne Michaels or whatever. I mean, someone had to swallow some pride to do that. Yeah. And
I'm guessing the ratings on that episode were very strong.
The views on the clips are probably tens of millions.
It's just the storyline. Yeah. You can't beat that storyline.
How about the teaser? I love the teaser.
The 21 Savage one?
Yeah.
We kept saying 21? Yeah. I just love a good, it's like finally a story of like canceled, probably shouldn't have happened, almost ruined this guy's life. Yeah. And then he comes back and hosts the show again. Like, it's great.
I mean, he's going to be in movies, right? I'd assume.
He should be. I think people are probably still a little too scared for a little bit. But
yeah, look, I think I read a lot of the reviews today, and a lot of people said he bombed. A lot of people.
I think you got to be careful with that.
And it just further proved, they were saying, he kept saying, you didn't laugh at that? And that was part of his bit, you fucking morons who watched that. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. Yeah. He knew. He came in there saying, okay, this is going to be my normal audience. Yeah. And some people laugh, some people won't. And then he's going to make it everyone feel awkward about it. Yeah. That was his bit. He knew that was going to happen. Right. And you dumbass reporters at the LA Times.
Yeah, you can't read that though. That's all people who just think he should have stayed canceled. Yeah. They're so mad that, because it was sort of that journalism that like tried to take him down. Yeah. And he beat it. Yeah. And so they're going to be so mad. Yeah. I thought it was great.
I'm just kind of like, I'm more happy for him because I think
he's young, right?
It's just, we can't keep ending people's careers and lives over a joke, a statement. Everyone is not racist. I'm sorry. If you think everyone is racist,
go to Google.
You should move to Google. Yeah. And guess what? your racist ass ain't smart enough to work there.
Yeah, it turns out the people who are most worried about race are the racist ones.
Yes.
Like what Google did is racist.
Yes.
And they're
If you want to know about
If
diversity,
you want to have an opinion, go to Dubai and see what happens.
right.
by the way,
Right. Move there for a little bit and also see what a great outcome you
wait
get.
till you see who works at Google, because it ain't anyone that looks like you.
It's crazy. It's also just like leave comedy alone, you know?
Yeah, I'm all for leaving everyone alone. Like, I genuinely don't believe so much of society is so angry and disappointed at everything they meet and see and talk about. They're just not. They don't give a fuck.
No, they
Do you
don't.
think people have the bandwidth to like, oh my God, did you see what fucking
No.
so-and-so said at the SAG Awards?
They don't give a fuck.
No
because
one
they
cares.
fuck.
And
You
I
could
think-
see
I think-
data.
And I think you travel more than the two of us. Is anyone mean to you?
Mean? No.
Well, other than because you deserve it.
No, other than if you're an asshole. But like in the sense of like, geez, like opening an elevator, opening a door, going to a restaurant. No one's mean.
Fuck no. And I'm like the last 2
And you're
months.
all around the
The
world.
last 2 months I was in
Now I'm the one who has to worry.
Paris, London. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to fight for you.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you.
fucking Martin
Thank you.
Luther King for white people.
Thank you.
No, my point is everyone's nice.
Yeah. Everyone is so
You're
nice
Marty.
everywhere.
Marty Luther King.
Yeah, Martin Luther King.
Yeah, I think if you could see data of the amount of people that actually give a shit and the people who don't care, couldn't care less, I think the last 5 years have been a
It was a
tragedy.
sham. It was a sham.
Yeah.
It's complete sham because like,
Think about all the money lost, all the
yeah.
corporations that like it's just over what I think is a very small group.
It was a sham.
Yeah.
All right, I want to talk about one last piece of thing before we head out. Joe Pompliano, who's like a podcaster and big guy on Twitter, he posted something that I thought was very, very fascinating.
Okay.
Prime Minister of Hungary has given women a lifetime 0% personal income tax exemption if they give birth to and raise at least 4 children.
Great.
He basically gives a subsidy of $8,800 toward the purchase a 7-seat vehicle for families with 3 or more children, a low interest loan of $35,000 for women under the age of 40 who are marrying for the first time. A third of the debt will be forgiven when a second child is born, and the entire loan waived after the third child. A loan program for families with at least 2 children to help them buy homes will also be expanded. And his theme around this, the Hungary president, is he made a zero tolerance for immigration his main theme.
Mm-hmm.
So this goes back to something that we talked about in the Middle East, which is, do you agree with everything happening in Dubai and the Middle East? Maybe not. But they've made it clear, if you do these 4 fucking things, shut the fuck up, don't drink and drive, don't do drugs, don't do this, you get 0% income tax, free education, free healthcare.
Right.
Hungary is doing the same thing. They want to increase their population.
Mm-hmm.
They're pro-Hungarian. We can argue if that's the right thing to do, not whatever. But they're incentivizing their citizens
Right.
to do that. If, for example, there's a lot of conspiracy around in the right wing around why Sleepy is letting everyone in to change the voting population.
Yeah, that's bullshit,
Yeah.
though.
It is bullshit. But
Wait,
let's
can I just ask real quick? What?
It would take 8 years for any immigrant to be able to get a green card to
so
be
they're
an
playing a long
eligible
game.
voter.
They're playing a long game.
So what? Let me just ask you, because I'm genuinely curious about this. I don't have a take. Why would they be doing this? Like the numbers are undeniable.
But yeah, the numbers also are in Republican states, right?
But no, aren't the numbers of border crossings by the U.S. border
Yeah, it's
patrol?
in Texas, right? So the majority are in Texas.
So you
which is a
think that the
red
whole
state.
numbers could be fake?
No, I don't think the numbers are fake, but it's happening in a red state.
So he's saying that You're saying they're playing the long game.
No, I'm not saying any game. I'm just saying everyone's blaming Joe,
But it wasn't
it's
that whole
happening
thing like
in a
with-
red state.
But now they've shut down the red states because they brought their state guard.
Wasn't there that whole thing like with the barbed wire and stuff where Texas was trying to shut it down and the
then
federal
there's
government
also
was saying no?
There's also stories that red states are trying to let them in to make Sleepy look terrible.
So is your take that it's being blown out of proportion and the main goal is to make Joe Biden look bad?
yes.
Okay. What's yours, D?
My take?
Yeah.
My take is that he's incompetent.
But it's not a voting thing.
Here,
I don't think it's a voting thing.
Can we
I
go back?
literally
I
think
actually
it's
had this
incompetence.
conversation with our mom this afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
and you have all these right wing, talking heads talking about America. It's terrible. It's worse. It's like lowest unemployment,
Yeah.
highest stock market.
Yeah.
Everyone has more money than ever.
Yeah.
Everyone's spending more than ever.
It's just crime. Because I think like murders and stuff are up. And I think life expectancy is down.
Life expectancy down because of fentanyl.
Right. But that's still
Yeah, but I mean
Manageable.
that could be a 10-year.
but I think crime is up and life expectancy is down. I think those are the two things that are very scary.
But in terms of like,
Right.
it's the economy stupid.
Right.
The economy's on fire.
I agree.
Absolutely on fire.
I don't think it's as
Everyone's
bad
spending.
as-
I mean, look at the stock market. The stock market's on fucking
Yeah, but
fire.
the stock market is not reflective of
and
America.
well,
It's all
unemployment's
Nvidia.
low.
Yeah, I agree.
Lowest unemployment.
I agree.
So
I
everyone's
think
saying Sleepy's a terrible president.
No,
It's
but I
fucking
think illegal immigration is a problem, though.
But don't you think
If you don't think illegal immigration is a problem, then
No, I think illegal immigration's been a problem for 25 years.
Well, let me
no,
ask you
I
this.
think it's exasperated in the last 8 years.
And I think it's in red states.
what
Because
about
that's where Mexico is.
So talk to the red state
They
governors.
want to. Greg Adams
to the red
put
state
National
governors.
Guard on the ground there, and he got
Talk
pushed
to the
back
red
from
state
sleep.
governors to
he-
be like,
he-
why-
he
you can
solved
shut
it.
it down if you want.
No, he did. He did shut it down. Now
tried, I
Sleepy
thought. I thought
Joe
it
is
got
trying to sue him.
overridden.
Sleepy Joe's trying to sue him.
Let's see the numbers.
He shut it down.
let me just ask you this. Weren't the numbers the same plus no wars under Trump?
In terms of what?
Lowest unemployment, stock market at all-time highs. You could have said the same thing in 2018, plus no wars. And not as many border crossings.
Not as low as unemployment as today. This is the lowest it's been in like 2 decades.
But
But
other
pretty
than
damn
that,
close.
other than that,
And
though.
stock
the economy
market's
was
20%
booming.
higher.
Right, but I'm saying it was all-time high at the time.
At the time it was, yeah.
I'm just curious, like how much is Joe, the president, and how
My
much
point
is the
it probably
natural?
doesn't matter.
Right.
My-
I,
you
but I
just need
think
a
what
steward.
does matter is
You need a
things like
steward.
the
You need a
border
steward.
and crime and things.
You need a steward, 100%.
If he'd be polling better if that's what people thought. He's not polling well in any state. He's just not. He's down.
I also think the president, the actual sitting president, doesn't matter as much as everyone thinks.
I know, but he's not polling well, so that means more people are agreeing that he's incompetent.
We'll see. When Gavin comes in, it's fine.
Gavin's got to come in, right?
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah.
I don't believe it, but we'll see.
Okay, but I kind of cut everything off there. There was an ending that we were on.
So yeah, my ending was more around. You see a country like Hungary, they've made their
Yes.
stance. Is it the right stance for everybody in the world? No, it's the right stance for Hungary.
Right.
Anand's talking about Dubai, everyone's happy, blah, 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 blah. I think in
Small
America,
population.
I think in America,
That's a problem, right?
What?
Small population. That's why Dubai works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
in
I'm saying
But there
is
300,000
is things we could take from.
But there's very
what I don't get
simple,
is like,
basic things. We have to stop catering to fucking everyone in this country. We have
we
to
have 400
cater.
million people.
What?
We have 400 million people. They
I
have
know,
3.5
but
million
like,
people.
dude, if you think our country's running efficient, then
But no, I think this is the question. This is a simple question. It doesn't matter the amount of people. It's just what do we incentivize?
yes.
I think at least the culture of this country right now does not incentivize you to make a lot of money because then you become a bad person.
Yeah.
I think we incentivize, I've heard, I don't know near enough about this to make this case, but the welfare program sort of incentivizes single parent households, which seems to have some issues. What do we incentivize? we tax you more, the better you do. What are we incentivizing? I'm just curious what good thing
I think we incentivize enough.
But
I think
tell me by the numbers.
I think there's
you have to actually incentivize specifics.
No, so in terms of inefficiency, of course there's inefficiency in the way government spends money. There's no question about that.
No, I'm saying what's a number that is like, oh yeah, but we incentivize you here. You get a cut, you get money, you get something if you do this well.
It's very straightforward. You have to just give people a very direct. If you told everyone in America, you lose 20% of your body fat, you fucking pigs, and we'll lower your health insurance. You can't say that in this country.
No, of course
not. You can't, because you're body shaming, you're fat shaming, you're this.
Yeah.
But we should literally say, every fucking person in America, stand on the fucking scale. Here's your incentive. You want to save money? Lose weight.
Here's what we have in this country that doesn't happen in any other, or can't say any other country because I don't know the rest of the world, but for most of the world, if you're sick, you can walk into any hospital and they have to admit you.
But that happens in Europe and Canada and Mexico.
But I'm not doubting. I know
but
that
then you go bankrupt because you have to pay for it.
I think this is the mistake.
That's the difference.
I think the mistake we make here. In this country,
you go bankrupt.
I think the mistake we make here is that any question you ask about it, like it's easy to be like, yeah, but in other countries, all that I'm saying is, what, like systemically, when you see countries doing interesting things like this, and you're like, oh wow, that's cool, and we know how much incentives matter. What do we incentivize financially for people or in any way that has people act right?
So like, imagine if they told you go have 5 kids.
No, think about, so if you want to take the Dubai example.
Yeah.
Everyone, like all podcasts are done.
No, I know, but you keep doing this thing again.
You give me free healthcare, free education.
You want to do the Dubai model.
No. I'm not saying like, okay, let's all move to Dubai. All I'm saying, you have to stick with me here, is if we want to take something good, I'm not saying we're not the best, but if we want to take a note from some stuff that other people are doing, we know how much incentives matter. I just feel like we incentivize bad behavior in this 100%.
Okay, so
we've been
so
incentivizing
everything
it for
I
decades.
explained about Dubai, which I said is like this blissful country with a lot of flaws.
Right.
What would you take from it to apply to America?
Well, I'm talking about Hungary this.
Forget Hungary, because I just was in Dubai, so I saw it firsthand.
Well, first,
why can't we give everyone free healthcare?
I feel like
you're fucking communist. You're communist. You want to give free healthcare.
I'd love to give free healthcare.
Why can't we give free healthcare? We fucking waste so much money. I want free healthcare for everyone.
I agree. Universal
healthcare. So why does Sleepy can't do it?
Why does any president can't do it?
Okay, why can't if Democrats?
There's no way the Republicans would approve that.
We've had control of the House and Senate, and we could not get it done.
You can't get universal health care done. Sorry, it's just not possible.
I just want to say that I think the answer to my question is
no. But what
nothing.
would you take? What would you take from?
I know, but listen, I'll answer your question. But I just want to say you're not answering my question.
What's your question?
My question is, what in this country do we incentivize good behavior financially, like with this type of model? Like where
I said the lose.
What do you mean?
Lose fat?
What
I'm saying, but
about?
we don't currently. What do we currently do?
We don't. We don't encourage
That's my
good
point.
behavior.
That's my only point.
What good behavior?
What are you talking about? We all came from very middle class beginnings and have done really well. That's what
against the odds. I'm saying, what is incentive? Like this is have 4 children, 0 tax.
It's a very
low
clear
interest
plan.
loan.
What he's saying is a clear plan. What's the clear plan? It's not because we studied and we get to have a good education. No, we fucking were better.
This guy did you even graduate high school?
Yeah, but I know, but he chose.
Right. Don't get me wrong. That's amazing, that is possible here. But I'm asking, what do we do?
But we're anomalies. But here's the thing: is you're talking about a bunch. This podcast is anomalies. We're not the average people. The average person. Yo, if you fucking get 4 kids, maybe you should get incentivized for something.
Or like what behavior or what sort of
Good behavior.
like, hey, if you do this here in America, we reward you. We incentivize you straight up with this.
Imagine if we did it with just health.
Tax credit.
Something.
And that's all I'm saying. It's okay to say, yeah, we should do something like this. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think you
I
can
just don't
do
think
it.
we try
I
very
think
hard.
Our population is too big. So, right, we have 400 million people.
Yeah.
So
But start with the most basic thing.
But we saw what happened during COVID. We see what's happening in Ukraine.
I'll give you an incredible example. We thought standardized tests are racially biased.
Right.
Okay? Guess who's back? Yale, MIT, everyone's fucking back with standardized tests.
Yeah.
Because they're not.
Yeah.
They're not racially biased.
Yeah.
Because you know who is the best fucking test people on earth? Are fucking Indians.
Yeah.
Okay?
And Asians.
Yeah.
What?
Asians.
Asian and Indian, number one. So who is it racially biased against?
No, it's income biased.
Oh, Indians were 30 years ago. Indians were rich in this country. They were not. When we were 1989, Indians were not the wealthiest.
No. But it's income bias in the sense that Asians and Indians prioritize the parents prioritize.
But I don't think that's a bias.
Standardized
No,
testing.
that's cultural bias. Cultural bias is very different. Our culture only cares about one
It's
fucking
just
thing.
merit bias, which is what it should be.
Yes.
It should
I-
be biased.
No, but here's
Everyone
my
said I
issue,
was-
right? Like I went to a Korean SAT school
Yeah.
3 times a week,
Yeah.
Yes.
and I scored very high.
Right.
And it's
That was
because
a
I went to the-
priority of our family.
Yes.
We sacrifice other things so that we get to go to those things.
Right.
That is very different. So it's a cultural bias that in
But
our
it doesn't mean I'm smarter than the other person.
No,
I
but-
just got trained to figure out this test.
Right, but isn't that life?
That's
like,
life.
Isn't life what you prioritize and decide
communism.
is important?
I don't want communism. I'm just
Yes.
saying.
Like, we all
I'm being
know-
honest about my.
I know,
my,
but we know some people who are in very, very high up positions. I'm not saying they're our friends, but like, do you honestly think everyone running all these big companies and making billions of dollars is smarter than you?
No, of course not.
So that's my thing is it's not like, oh, you're smarter and so you deserve it. But that was what was prioritized in your family culture. And so you did well at it. And I just think we should be incentivizing people to have the right priorities.
Yeah.
As opposed to, we don't really do that here. We kind of say like, it's a sloppy system, figure it out. But you do have a chance to get really rich. That is awesome. And I'm glad that we do that here. But like when you see stuff like this, it's like, man, that'd be cool if we did that too. It'd be cool if we like, instead of like trying to force DEI and all these different things, what if we just incentivized the outcomes we wanted?
Yeah.
Like in these
it would
lower
all
income
be
areas, they
deemed-
shouldn't have any
I'll
tax
tell you
if
why.
they.
In this current climate, everything you're saying would be deemed racist.
Right.
100%.
I'll never get a job at
Classist,
Google.
racist, everything would be. That's why.
There goes my Google job.
Google's over. Google's fucked. They should shut that fucking company down.
It just sucks because to be honest, when it's all said and done and we move on from this phase, the people that were like left behind are just going to be even more left behind.
Because they were told that it's okay to be what they are, but no one I learned this at a very young age, and I try to share it with people, but no one wants to hear it. Is no one ever calls you out and what you're fucking weak at.
Right.
So I'm sitting there today watching my kid do a baseball practice. My son goes to have a glass of water. I call the coach over. I'm like, I'm going to be honest. The kid's got no swing, got no power.
Talking about Dominic.
And I was like, he hits the ball every single time because he's fucking psycho and he wants to make connect.
Yeah, he's got the hand eye.
But he won't swing the ball hard. So his shots are weak. And I go to him, I'm like, you got to change the way you're talking to him. Like, I need you to fucking tell him to swing for the fences.
Yeah.
I'd rather him strike out 9 out of 10, but smack the shit out of the ball once.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You want a guy that just gets on base.
I'm not trying to, I don't want to Ichiro.
Moneyball.
I want a Shohei.
Ichiro can hit home runs, get on base, he can do it all.
I don't like Ichiro, but it's not fun to watch as a parent.
Right.
So I go like, you
If
got
if he can make contact, I don't think you have a problem.
Yeah, he's making contact, but like I could see it. Like he wants to see the ball go far.
Yeah.
And he's playing it safe, and he's like, I'm like, you need to like. And I sat, and Haley texted me. I stood on top of him in his entire practice for 1 hour.
Yeah.
And Haley's like, you're making me really nervous. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I care.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make fucking comments, and I don't care.
Yeah.
And so I sat and watched, and I didn't say anything to him. I told the coach, here's what I think. Here's what I think. And he adjusted, and he did it. And I think I'm going to give you like something that's very important in Ghost that we developed our operating principles.
Mm-hmm.
There were 6 things. I'm not going to share all 6 right now. I'll share one. And one that's very important is radical candor.
Mm-hmm.
Is share
Radical candor.
being transparent.
Great book, by the way.
There's a book called Radical Candor?
Mm-hmm. It's really great.
Okay. And I will tell you, one of my biggest weaknesses in life has been lack of radical candor,
I'd agree with that.
right? Like lack of it.
Yeah.
And in this business, there's fucking 100% radical candor. And it shows in the performance of the company.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't like what I see, I fucking say it instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's changed the trajectory of the company because of it.
Right.
Simultaneously, I've applied it particularly to my children
Yeah.
because I want to see the best for them. I don't like, I care about being empathetic and I care about them having a good feeling, but like, I also don't want to like hide it from them.
Right.
I'd rather just tell them. I'd rather tell them like, hey, baseball's not your sport. Let's go play chess.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
And
I think the problem is we've confused what caring looks like.
yes.
Like we think that caring is,
Coddling.
it's okay.
Coddling.
Yeah.
I will
and
say-
it's not. That's so mean long term.
You know what actually made me feel really good? So our mom was at our house this weekend and she went to Dom's basketball game and he lost and he cried.
Yeah.
And I was like, I used to cry every time I lost.
Yeah.
Every time I lost, I was like, I'm fucking devastated crying. I was like, good for him.
Yeah.
Glad he cared.
Yeah.
And the thing is
Yeah.
Because like I remember I cared so much.
Yeah.
And when I lost and I played like shit, I would cry.
yeah. And I think
100%.
the problem is that the initial reaction today as a parent, as a coach, as a community member is, oh, it's okay. I think the better thing is like, you're allowed to fucking be mad and you're allowed to cry. You lost.
Yeah. I didn't like losing.
Yeah,
I didn't like playing like shit. If I
I
scored 4 points versus 20 points,
Yeah.
I was pissed.
Yep.
And
I
throw
saw,
a fit.
so I was on a plane, so I saw the video of my wife. I see him today, and I was like, I called him out. I was like, this is why you didn't do this. This is why you didn't do this. He didn't like hearing it,
Yeah.
but fuck,
Yeah.
people don't say that to people.
Yeah.
And that is, to me, that's caring.
It is.
Because I care. I want to correct him
Yeah.
so that he gets better.
Yeah.
And it's not just about fucking sports. It's about life.
Yep.
Like if you're people that care about you don't correct you, you don't end up in the best place.
Yeah. And it's hard to do, but I think the worst thing you can do, which is what we're doing now, is saying, not only is it okay that you aren't hitting the ball hard, but actually baseball is unfair towards you, Dom.
Yeah.
You're
Indian.
Indian.
Yeah, you don't have the muscles.
Yeah.
Sorry, they don't even like people like you here. You know, and like we're just teaching everyone that the world's unfair.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, well, why even try?
Yeah.
And that's so bad. It's so bad long term.
It's so bad because you know what it does? It creates that victim mentality that, I was never going to be here.
Yeah.
And
the only way I'll make it is if I get some sort of handout.
And I don't know, because I'm gonna use myself as an example. I don't remember a time in my life where I thought I couldn't do anything.
Right.
I could have been delusional the entire time.
Yeah.
Sports, as a college student, in business, I woke up, I always thought I was the best.
Yeah.
I didn't think that because of who I am or where I came from, even to this day, I wake up, I go for a run, I listen to music, I'm like, fuck, I'm the best at fucking what I do.
Yeah.
And
You
I
have
don't
to
think
be that
people
way.
wake up like that. I think they wake up and be like,
No.
oh man, people are not letting me be the best at what I do.
Yeah. I'll never, no matter how hard I try, I'll never have the opportunity to be the best. That's a
Even
way to
when
like poison a person.
Yeah, and even when I was reading someone who was being like very vulnerable about like very like pretty big struggles in their life.
Mm-hmm.
But every morning they woke up with the confidence and like in the hardest times of your life, if you do not have that belief
Right.
that you can overcome anything,
Yeah.
you can't get out of it.
Right.
That's the mama mentality.
Exactly. And I think the problem is that right now in America, if you're in the struggling position, it's easier to blame other people instead of saying, fuck, it's like, I can get myself out of this. I don't need.
I mean, that's like Kobe's whole speech, right? When he did the jersey hanging, is basically like, the times when you're tired and you don't want to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, that's actually the dream.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's what's such a shame. And I think in all this stuff, like the answer is not to say that George Washington was black.
Right.
That's not the fucking answer, guys. You know what I mean? It's a shame. But
Can I know we're going to wrap soon. I rewatched Dumb Money.
yeah.
I've seen it now the second time. I can't believe they stopped the trading.
I know.
Your boy Vlad.
I know.
I literally am shocked.
Yeah. At the time, I don't know why, because I watched it like for the first time like 3 months ago, and there was enough time had passed that I had like a clearer view of it, and I'm like,
I think people have overlooked.
And nothing happened.
No,
Nothing happened, and the company's called Robinhood. Like, do you realize how much of a spit in the face?
So here's what I realized from watching that and watching many things. The game has always been rigged.
Of course, but not so in your face.
No, it's only in your face because of social media.
That's
but
true.
Here's the thing.
But no, it's retail, right? Because
But
it
it's
was on
always-
CNBC.
But think
you know
about
how many
like,
times retail's been rigged? It's always been rigged.
yeah,
You can't.
I couldn't believe it. Like we talked about this story
I know.
in real time
Live.
the entire time.
Yeah,
And then I watched the movie the first time and I was like, holy shit, I forgot. And then I watched it again last week and I was like,
Here's the
But that's how I
story.
feel when I was young, but that's how I feel when I watched that movie Vice.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, they just made up. Of course, there was no.
Yeah.
The Taliban wasn't in fucking Iraq.
Here's what I learned from watching that movie. You could be an Indian and a Russian, make up a story on why you canceled, and you can become a billionaire. You can fucking do anything you want in this country. That is why America is great.
Yeah.
I don't follow.
You just
Well, I think it's the
turn
same
on
kind of
trading
thing.
and you say,
Yeah.
no, I don't like that.
No, but you have to be on the right. I mean, he had Citadel behind him.
Okay, so you suck a little dick and you can do that. That's how America works.
Suck
Get
it
on
down.
your
If he
knees.
didn't have Ken Griffin, I don't think that. I mean,
Right.
I can't. It's
I
just
think if he
unfathomable.
didn't have Ken Griffin, he didn't know that he could do it. Ken Griffin, he did it, not Ken Griffin.
Yeah.
It was his choice. That
And
fucking
Vlad's
guy-
still free.
Yeah, he's CEO. He's a billionaire.
No, they say on the movie that they're not billionaires, but I'm sure he's a
The
billionaire.
stock went up since
Yeah.
the movie.
It's
The
so
movie
crazy.
didn't prove anything. The movie proved that like you could do whatever you want in finance.
I just can't believe it. I just literally can't believe because it was in plain sight. Everyone in the world knew.
Right.
And this isn't like, old school dark rooms where things happened. This was like plain sight.
No, right now
Yeah.
you can do
Fraud.
whatever you want up front on TikTok. You post it live and say, I'm gonna fuck all these people.
You know what I
And-
love is like who invented this whole idea of this like testifying in front of Congress thing? Because it's such horseshit.
It's so shit.
It's literally like, let's put in place this thing
It's
that
a
is
show.
all a charade
It's a show.
to look like the government
Yeah.
is working, but it never actually creates any outcomes. It's all what happens behind the scenes. But it's like, let's just have him come in and fucking
So here's a really
yell at him for a little bit. People will shut up about
a
it.
movie that came out that I had to I forced myself to stay up on my flight back. So I watched a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And I ended up watching this John Cena movie called Freelance.
Yep.
And it's about this guy who's like a dictator in some South American country that basically was like,
It was advertised as a comedy.
well, it is a comedy. It's hilarious.
That's funny.
But he's a
I saw
dictator in
that on
South
my
American
flight
country.
and click it.
It's
but
so good.
It's a comedy.
It's such a D movie.
It's so good. John Cena and this guy who's like a funny dictator. And he's just like, the CIA told me to do this. CIA told me to do that. Fuck it. I was like, I don't care.
Yep.
But it's real.
Yeah.
It's not all this shit that this is why Alex Jones really fucked himself by taking it too far.
Yeah.
Because he was probably 15% right.
Yeah, I would say at least.
Well, he called Epstein.
Do you realize that he called 9/11 before 9/11? He called planes flying into, I believe, World Trade Center.
Yeah, but he said it was a false flag, right?
No, afterwards.
I think afterwards.
Yeah.
But before
He's
he
definitely
called,
off, but there's enough of it that's what
he
the
blew.
fuck?
He became a popular figure because of 9/11.
Yeah. And then called Epstein Island, which sounded absurd. But yeah, we're fucking crazy. It's crazy. But we are the best.
We are the best.
God damn it.
I mean, that's what's cool about it.
And we're able to talk on a podcast and we're not going home
Right. Worried about
fearing that someone's going to arrest us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty great. It's only that you see these other people. I feel like we're so lucky with, where we're located in our natural resources and how things have worked out for America, that when you see these other countries that have to try extra hard, you're like, if we only did that, if we only cared a little bit more about our people and the quality of life for the everyday person, I feel like the bargain is you have a shot at becoming a billionaire and no one will get in your way. Anyone has a shot. But until then, you're on your own.
So here's
just to jump real quickly, Zahan's book,
Yeah.
we call him Zohan,
Yep.
before is basically saying how America is basically undefeatable.
Yeah.
It's surrounded by water.
Yeah.
There's no, actual threat. It's Mexico and Canada.
Yeah.
We have all the rivers. We have all the transportation. We have all, we're geographically just so,
Insulated and protected.
we're geographically so protected
Yep.
that American can do the nonsense we do and still be the greatest.
Yeah. It's just a
That's the
shame that
problem.
it's kind of like if Dubai or those
Because
places.
Dubai can't do that.
Right. But what they can do.
The Houthis will come.
Right. But what they can do, this is what I admire about them, is they have so much money today because of oil that they can do whatever the fuck they want. But they're looking ahead and saying, ultimately this might not work. How do we make this the best place to?
I think it's just smaller population, to be honest.
Right.
300 million, 400 million versus 3.5 million people.
The fact that in Los Angeles, you have to worry. You can't post that you left town.
yeah.
Yeah, I won't
Both of you guys don't drive Lamborghinis and live in fucking crazy modern mansions,
No.
but it's a valid fear.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, there's 6 million people, 7 million people in the valley. There's 3.5 million people in Dubai.
Right.
Houthis.
Okay.
All right. I gotta go.
We did it.
Bleep out the Houthis.
No, why? They're a terrorist organization.
Yeah,
They're
that's
not
fair.
in Dubai.
They're terrorists.
Okay. Thanks for listening. Everyone have a great week. Peace.
See you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday.